I am an old man now. My hair is white and my hands are weak. I sit by the window every day, watching the trees outside. The wind moves the leaves softly, and I remember my past. Memories come like waves. Some make me smile, and some make me cry. I had a wife. Her name was Elizabeth. She was kind and beautiful, with a warm smile that made every day brighter. We had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. I worked hard every day to give them a good life. I wanted them to have what I never did. My wife cared for the house, cooked meals, and helped the children with their schoolwork. Our home was full of laughter and love. Years passed, and the children grew up. They went to school, made friends, and started spending less time with us. I understood they needed to explore the world. But it still made me sad. Elizabeth would always tell me, "They will come back. They love us." I believed her. One day, Elizabeth became sick. She stayed in bed for many weeks. I took care of her, cooked for her, and sat by her side. I told her stories to make her laugh. But she was too weak. She looked at me and said, "Take care of the children. They need you." One night she closed her eyes and never opened them again. My heart broke into pieces. The house became quiet and lonely. I hoped my children would stay with me and fill the silence. But they were busy with their own lives. They came to visit less and less. One day they sat with me and said, "You cannot stay alone. It's better for you to live in a home for old people." I wanted to say no. But I saw no other choice. My heart hurt. But I nodded and went with them. Now, I sit here alone. The days are long, and the nights are cold. I think of Elizabeth and the life we had together. I ask myself, did I fail as a father? Did I do something wrong? But there are no answers, only silence. This place is called the Golden Years home. It is clean and quiet. There are other old people here, sitting in their chairs, lost in their thoughts. Some of them talk to me, but most of the time I sit alone. The nurses are kind, but they are busy. They bring me food, give me medicine, and sometimes smile at me. Every morning I wake up early. I sit by the window and watch the sunrise. The light paints the sky with colors. And for a moment, I feel peace. Then the day begins, and I feel the emptiness again. I think of my children. Where are they? Are they happy? Do they think of me? I remember the times I carried them on my shoulders. We went to the park, played games, and laughed. I worked long hours to buy them new clothes and toys. I taught them to ride their bikes and helped them with their homework. My hands were tired, but my heart was full. They were my pride, my joy, my everything. But now they are far away. They call me sometimes, but their voices are hurried. "How are you, Dad?" they ask. And before I can answer, they say, "We're busy." Take care. I understand. Life is hard, and they have their own families now. But still, I wish they could visit more. One day a nurse gave me a notebook. She said, "Write your memories. It will help you feel better." At first, I didn't know what to write. My hand shook as I held the pen. But then, the words started to flow. I wrote about Elizabeth, her soft voice, her laughter. I wrote about my children, their first steps, their first words, their bright smiles. The notebook became my friend. Every night, I wrote before I went to sleep. It felt like I was talking to someone, sharing my pain and my love. I hoped that one day my children would read it and understand how much I love them. But sometimes I wonder if they will ever read it. Maybe they are too busy to care. Maybe they will forget me, just like they forgot to visit. These thoughts make my heart heavy. But I keep writing. It is the only thing I can do. The days in the home are all the same. Breakfast at 8. Lunch at 12. Dinner at 6. Between meals, I sit by the window or in the garden. The garden is small, but it has flowers, roses, daisies, and tulips. Sometimes I watch the birds. They sing and fly freely. And I wonder if they feel joy or loneliness like me. One afternoon a young boy came to visit. He was the son of one of the nurses. He smiled at me and said, "Hi, Grandpa." His smile reminded me of my youngest son when he was little. The boy sat beside me and asked, "Do you have any stories?" I nodded and began to tell him about my childhood. I told him about the village where I grew up, green fields, tall trees, and a clear river where we used to swim. I told him about my best friend James, and how we climbed trees and played hide and seek. As I spoke, the boy's eyes grew wide with excitement. For a moment, I felt alive again, sharing my memories with someone who listened. After he left, I felt a strange mix of emotions. I was happy to talk to him. But it also reminded me of my family. I wondered, do my grandchildren know about me? Do they know how much I miss them? Do they know how much I want to hold them and tell them stories too? One evening, I asked the nurse if I could call my eldest son. She handed me the phone. I dialed the number with shaking hands. He answered after a few rings. "Hello, Dad," he said, his voice distant. I told him I missed him and wanted to see him. He said, "I'll try to visit soon." But his words felt empty, like a promise he didn't mean to keep. That night, I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, thinking of Elizabeth. She would have known what to do. She always brought the family together. Without her, everything fell apart. I miss her more than words can say. I held the notebook close to my chest. "Elizabeth," I whispered. "If you can hear me, please tell our children to come. Tell them I'm still here, waiting for them." Days turned into weeks. Some visits came, but they were brief. My children had busy lives, and I understood. One day, I found an old photo album in my room. It was full of pictures, some faded, some bright. I looked at each photo carefully, remembering every face. There was Elizabeth, smiling at the camera, her eyes full of life. There were the children laughing, playing, growing up. And there was me, younger, stronger, hopeful. I showed the album to the nurse. She smiled and said, "You have a beautiful family." I nodded, feeling both pride and sorrow. The album reminded me that I was not alone. Even if my family rarely came, they were still part of me. One evening, a volunteer visited the home. She was a kind woman who sang songs and told stories to the residents. Her voice was soft and warm, and it filled the room with light. She sang a song about love and hope. I closed my eyes and felt the music wrap around me like a hug. After her visit, I felt a spark inside me, a little hope. Maybe I was not forgotten. Maybe love lasts forever, even when people are apart. The next day, I wrote a letter to my children. I told them about my days, my memories, and my love. I asked them to visit when they could, and to remember me kindly. I gave the letter to the nurse and asked her to send it. She promised she would. Weeks passed, and I waited. Then, one afternoon, the door opened, and my youngest son walked in. His face was older, his eyes tired, but he smiled. He hugged me tightly and said, "Dad, I'm sorry. I'm here now." Tears came to my eyes. For the first time in a long while, I felt truly happy. We talked for hours. He told me about his life, his work, and his family. I told him about the home, the memories, and the love that never faded. That visit gave me strength. I realized that even if life takes people far away, the heart remembers. From that day, visits became more frequent. My children and grandchildren came to see me. The house felt alive again. I shared my stories and my notebook with them. They listened, laughed, and sometimes cried. I felt whole again. The love I gave and received was still alive. As my days grow shorter, I am no longer afraid. I know that love never truly leaves us. It stays in the heart, in memories, and in the stories we share. And when I close my eyes for the last time, I will be surrounded by the love that built my life. Thank you for listening to my story. May you cherish your loved ones every day.